Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Thursday. It's October 10th, 2024. Some might call this a 1010 portal. Actually, it very well could be because we got October 10th and it's 2008, which is an 8, and even collectively that so it could be a 10-10-10 portal, or it could just be a 10 portal generally. So definitely reflective of closing cycles or bringing closure to some energy. Yeah, could be something like that. We may even be looking forward to this message. I didn't plan on that, but could be. Would make sense. But in any event, I hope you're doing well. And matter of fact, what time is it? Oh snap, it's 9:09. I thought it might be closer to 10, but literally how the time on my phone shows up, it's like 0909 is how the time is written in these block digits. So that was pretty striking. Yeah, so if you consider 9 and 2 9s is about endings. No, 9 is completion. 9 is completion. 10 is endings. So, I mean, we may be right in alignment with whatever is to be revealed in this message. Or it just may be a sign and a signal of what could be happening in your life right now, particularly if energy is especially intense. You may be closing a cycle, so if it's I would say that no matter what the intensity of it all, congratulations, I would say, more or less are in order for making it to the end of anything, with the promise and the projection of a new beginning and something else, so there's always a turn of hope and something to look forward to, especially when you've done your due diligence with intention to close out cycles, and especially in any powerful or highly vibrational way. So I don't know, but let's see what we got here. I'm gonna cut it one more time. Let's go for it. 4 of Pentacles. This is somebody still holding on, though, or being conservative. Maybe they didn't quite get the memo that something is over or a cycle is closed or closing. And this is 4 of 10. So this is somebody not even at the halfway point as far as this suit is concerned. I hope it ain't you. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, well, here's the double up with the 8. There's the Knight of Pentacles with slow mobility, slow movement, slow progression, but there's the World card. Definitely about those endings or completions. Let's stop here for a second. So maybe someone, like I said, it was just slow to get the memo, but maybe this is the message, the Knight of Pentacles, that once they got it, that it's time to wrap it up or speed it up or move on in some way, shape, or form, or maybe just let go. The minute somebody got that memo, And I would have to imagine actually that they put it into practice is what maybe made room for this accelerated productivity here at the Eight of Pentacles. They stopped holding on to something that was only mildly satisfying and secure to gain something that was wildly prosperous. And with the Eight of Pentacles, definitely an emphasis on satisfaction. That's work that you enjoy doing, that's purposeful, that's impactful, certainly productive. So it seems like somebody may have spent a long time investing their energy into things that were only like menially productive or profitable. It's just because the Knight of Pentacles is definitely a hard worker. He's definitely no stranger to rolling up his sleeves and taking his time. But maybe that's the thing, is like somebody was spending a lot of time and effort in a particular way. It may have been valuable time and energy, even resources, but maybe it was just displaced in the wrong function, or like through the wrong medium or something like that. But it's given with the World card, it's like, had someone not received the memo and acted upon it, responded to it, they may have just missed an opportunity to have this Eight of Pentacles experience. Like if they would have taken any more of their sweet, precious little time, or wasted, I should say in this case, any more of their precious time and energy in one particular place, or doing one particular thing, or working in whatever capacity, or their attention may have needed to be redirected. They could have missed an opportunity, because the 8 is not the 10, but it's advanced enough that it feels good to me, with the World showing up, that someone fulfilled whatever was required of them to well, and then if we add this all up, then certainly if we got the 8 and then we have the 4 and the 1, it's 13. So it probably could have gone either way with the number 13. Really could have been a matter of, I don't know, luck or fate or something, as to maybe it still is pending, because just because the cycle is closed doesn't mean that this person has successfully closed it, or a season has closed or completed. Doesn't mean that they, this might be where they left off, so maybe it's still up for consideration, even though for me it looks like a positive progression. If it was just up to my human eyes, I would say to have made it to a point where you were slow, or taking your time, to the 4 of Pentacles, where you may have been conserving too much, or holding on too much, or just focused on the wrong things, to now being quite focused, for your energy to be quite streamlined and well invested, to come to this level of profit. To me, that looks good. To me, but I could be wrong. What's under here? The Two of Swords, like, to you, girl, I know that. But what did I say, though? This is interesting, because I said maybe it's up in the air. It's still up for consideration, or maybe in deliberation. That's interesting. Yeah, because maybe, maybe it's not up to me in my human eyes to decide, like, where someone left off would have been good enough to fulfill whatever it is that they were assigned to complete, if it isn't actually a completion. Maybe he was supposed to get to the 10 or to the 9, or something like that, before time was up, before he clocked out or finished his shift, or knocked off for the day. Maybe he was supposed to get to more than 8. And if he hadn't taken so much time diddle-dallying around with things that, were more or less a distraction or less important, maybe he would have turned his focus around soon enough to get to completion. I don't know, because I think it's interesting that this Two of Swords is there, and I said, like, the number 13 collectively, which does then come back down to a 4. It's some, it's what do you call it? I forget the term. It's what it deduces to is the 4 with the 13. It could be, like, still back to that middle ground where this is the moment that it came down to, where someone held on to too much. It may have just been a little too little, too late. I don't know. But again, like I said, that is something that's up in the air, up for consideration, up for judgment or deliberation. It's quite curious. But hey, maybe today is the day of judgment or of decision. Maybe today is the day that ruling is made or something. I don't know. Whatever we're talking about here, but I just think that's pretty interesting. Like, did this person make the cut or didn't they? Shoot, we might not know before the end of this reading, but one thing's for sure is they will. All right, let's see. Oh, wow, that's way too many, I think. Oh, here's the 10 of Cups. And here's the Ace of Pentacles. More 4 energy. Well, we do get to a 10 here, but it's not the 10 of Pentacles. And I don't know if I love the fact that this energy is sitting in the middle in a posture of rejection or denial. Feels more like denial maybe than rejection. Or is it because, I don't know. What is this saying? It could actually be what I said, like somebody, refusing to let go sooner or in a more timely fashion. It seems like this 10 of Cups is what is at stake here. It's so heavily pentacle focused, even down to the ace on this next row. Maybe someone was so materially driven for so long that they put their spiritual fulfillment at a great risk. And by the time they realized the jeopardy or, I guess the detriment of their resistance and maybe turned around and tried to rectify it. This is them putting in the work, perhaps, I would imagine. It still is, like I said, like just barely at the buzzer beater at this point, to the point where this is what's on the line and this is what's to be obtained. And it's so much. We know how I feel about the 10 of Cups. It's bliss. It's, 10 of Pentacles is fine by me as well, but you can't beat the 10 of Cups. You can't even hardly put a price on it or measure it by anything comparatively. So it's literally, someone perhaps gambling the potential of a happily ever after for some immediate return and reward of a physically secure standard. Hell, maybe even almost forfeiting the gift of that in itself, being the Ace of Pentacles, which is of a divine essence, for, like I said, somebody kind of doing it their way and refusing to take the spiritual route. It's like what was being offered here in this 4 of Cups may have appeared to look like a cup, but it's given that same hand, what was really being offered is this Ace of Pentacles, which was ultimately most idolized here at this point. But because it looked like a cup to somebody is why they refused it or rejected it or resisted it. It didn't seem like it had much value, or certainly didn't have a material guarantee. And that was kind of the gotcha, because it literally feels like this is that. But because someone, how they say, like, never be careful how you engage people, because never know when you're entertaining an angel or something like that. That's the vibe that it's giving me, where somebody looked at that cup and kind of like scoffed at it, like, love, I don't want that. That can't pay my bills. I can't invest that. I can't, like they didn't see any value, any power, anything, precious about that. Or even if they did, it just wasn't, it didn't feel secure enough to take the gamble on. But a pentacle, though, pentacles that they can actually tangibly put their hands on, count, even manage, monopolize, move around, multiply, perhaps. Oh, that was a much more secure bet. But it feels to me that the ticket to this would have been accepting this, and ultimately would have been the segue to this, if not this holistically. But if someone didn't get right with this 4 of Cups by way of this 4 of Pentacles, then is what I said is true, that they may have forfeited the entire fortune. Is given the vibes of yesterday. I realized if you saw on the thumbnail, I put the little asterisk next to the title, because I was saying I was saying deal or no deal, but I was talking about the game show Let's Make a Deal, which I also posted in the comments, a clip, and on the community tab. But deal or no deal kind of applies too. It all fit in because I used that as part of the caption, so it all worked. But what I was really referencing is Let's Make a Deal, that old show that then I think they brought it back through another host. Wayne Brady, matter of fact, brought it back. But yeah, so funny enough, like I ran into the clip that I posted right away. It was the perfect example of what I used in the message about picking a door. Well, I said a door, and they do have doors too, but in that case, she picked a curtain, and it was like a total clunker, like junkyard. He called it a classic, but it was a piece of junk, for real, for real. And it's given that, you know, but in this case, it's like, it's even worse than that, or I'll say it's just different than that, because someone at least had a visual preview of what they could have kept. They just always felt like there had to be something better or more in store elsewhere or otherwise. In that case, with the game show, you don't really know what's behind the curtains or the doors. Everything is a chance except for what he's bargaining with in his possession, which usually is like cash or trading with some other audience member that has something that you like or whatever. Because naturally, after I found that clip, I started watching other throwbacks, you know, of that time. That I like that era. That time frame was just classic. But anyway, like, I don't know. It just feels like somebody may have made a gamble that might not be so lucky when we're talking about the number 13 up here. Now we're at 14, which is a 5, but just off of this energy here, that's more or less 13 pentacles. I don't know. Let's keep going. Oh, first of all, the moon. If it was the sun, it'd be something. It's still mysterious, though. That's the fun. Like, I don't know if we're going to get an answer on this. I don't even know exactly what's being tapped into so specifically, but if it was the sun, it'd be clear as day. Like, oh, okay, there's still hope. You know, there's still a chance. Still, you know, something good on the table or whatever. But the moon? It's mystical. It's not certain. And I gotta say, it's given something far more I don't know. I'll reserve that comment. Let's see. Let's keep going. Oh. Another consideration. 2 of Wands, this or that. This would have been on account of someone's actions, though. The 2 of Swords is about decisions. The 2 of Wands is about action. I mean, it's all decision-based and choice-based, of course, but there would have been some action required, again, to secure whatever this is in question. And under the Pentacle, it could be that, again, somebody took the high risk for the higher, for the higher reward, which would be on the pentacle. But it's like, again, if it didn't come through this, it couldn't be that. This would have needed to happen. Someone would have actually needed to let go of the pentacle, accept that cup in order to have that. And it feels like somebody wanted to jump straight into the gift, the fortune, the favor, the security, the profit, the benefit of it all before accepting the source of it all. And with that moon card, honestly, I'll throw this out here, but I didn't really want to bring the energy into the message, which was why I said I'll reserve. It could have just been somebody operating on some dark energy or mystical energy that they thought kind of afforded them a cheat code to straight to the fortune or straight to the favor of the situation. And that could have been the energy that was held on to for a little bit too long before it was realized that that wasn't it, and maybe would have been forfeited, which obviously was consistently offered here, because the hand of God is always available, like it's always offering. It's steady, it's consistent, it's unconditional, In this case, I would say so. Now, I would say that you can do things that raise the degree of difficulty of your receptivity of that offer, meaning if you don't accept it in a timely fashion or in the fashion of, within the window of opportunity that it's being graciously extended, then you could complicate your connection to that offer. The hand may still always be right where you always left it, but it could be that somebody, due to their choices, has more or less like transported themselves farther away from that offer by their own admission, if that makes sense. Like it's always there, it's always available, but there are certain choices and maneuvers that a person can make that can almost distance themselves from being able to just reach out and grab it as they have been. Look how close this is. Like it's right at arm's length for him. This is even at a higher, like he would have to fly to grab that one right here. It's like the spirit meeting you right where you are, and you still refuse to take it. You still refuse to receive it. And this is unconditional love, spiritual fulfillment, but what it also can be is intuition and somebody just refusing to accept their own inner knowing. Those nudges that may have been alarming them even in their physical life to do something different, to release maybe an image or an attachment, a distraction. Whatever it was to be released or to be disconnected from, to receive something else. But what was prioritized still, it seems, was more material stability. And it could be that, here's what I'm getting. It's that somebody realized, this is interesting. Somebody actually maybe in the ninth hour or, cutting it close, realized that what they were objectifying or maybe idolizing was in another form. However, here is the reason why things are still in question is because although they realized that what they've been holding on to has much less worth and value than what they gave it meaning, what they assigned to it, they got to work, but the motivation may be skewed or distorted because what they're not accepting here is this pure activation or even motivation to obtain, this offer or this potential fulfillment. Like I said, it's somebody that sees the prize now very clearly, like, oh, it's over there. That's what I need. But like I was saying, they're trying to jump the line or jump ahead or, skip the work or curb the process. I don't know. They're trying to do something that gets them right to the gold as they recognize it. But you can't forfeit this moment here. You wouldn't even have the energy to jump this high, literally and figuratively, to grab that Ace of Pentacles if you don't accept this cup. And that's what it is, that somebody is missing, like they're missing a step or something. They see the finish line, they see what truly is the prize and the reward, but they're not willing to fully accept the process to gain it. It's like when they were presented, perhaps yet again, with the option, ooh, it literally could be a matter of somebody, here it is again with this let's make a deal energy. Somebody was presented like, okay, now you get it, now you see what's missing. Now, how will you choose? What will you do in this moment? This is the moment. This is the one that matters, that counts for all the marbles, all the happiness, all the bliss that you say you really want and you're willing to work for. What will be your decision in how you gain that? Will you choose to go for it in the honorable way, in the way that, doesn't really perhaps look like what you were holding on to? Or if given the opportunity or even presented with the temptation to just go straight for the kill, will you do that? And think, and like somebody literally being tested, like, now, have you learned your lesson? We see you get it, we see your eyes are open, but have you learned your lesson though? And that's what's still up for consideration. Or maybe somebody's still in deliberation. I don't know. Maybe that's why I can't get a clear read on what's what. Still here at the Two of Wands, but I mean, even lined up under this Ace of Pentacles, it's like, yeah, you're still reaching for a higher frequency, but you're still not willing to submit yourself to a higher calling. So that's still from a divine perspective, I could imagine that still reads as someone that still doesn't quite get it. They want to get it, but they don't really quite get it, What's on about? Wow, the Knight of Swords. And this is somebody that should know better. They have all the facility, all the intelligence in the world to be able to be discerning and at least decisive. Maybe not always discerning, because that's on a deeper, usually more emotional level and sensibility, but certainly decisive. They can weigh all of the facts and figures, the evidence, and make a choice. So it would have to be accepted, let's say from a divine perspective, if this is like the moment of truth or the moment of testing or whatever like that, like that part in the, cue the freaking Jeopardy, music or something. I don't know, but it's like it gives that intensity for me that it's like, what's he gonna do? What will he choose? If anybody has the facility and the capacity to choose wisely, it should be the King of Swords. So the thing is, however he chooses is going to be evident of where their mind really is. Like I was saying, like whether somebody truly gets it. They may have read the signs. They may have even read the book, from cover to cover. They may have observed their surroundings. But have they really absorbed the truth as a part of their being? Not just a strategy, perhaps. Maybe even outsmarting the system, perhaps, because the King of Swords in a lower frequency can kind of be on that type of time too. But are you going to exemplify your spiritual aptitude in a way that would allow you to pass with flying colors? And it seems like somebody would need to pass with flying colors on this one. It's not no extra credit. It ain't no curve. It ain't none of that. Like at this point, it's all on the line for somebody to truly make the right decision, or they might be repeating a grade, repeating a course, taking a course over or something, having a whole nother season of world card energy where that could be freaking 5-10 years. It could be. It would be up to the divine to decide, quite honestly. But if you consider what is being closed out now, a lot of what's being closed in this moment in time has been a decade's worth, maybe even 12 plus years of processing. And that's collectively. That's individually experienced, but collectively we've all been going through it as well. So imagine you coming to graduation day and it's time for you to walk across the stage. Your family's all present to see you get your diploma, and you find out that you failed the last exam. So you can't walk today. You got to take that course all over again. And that's just mildly considering that maybe it's just one course. It's 4 cups here. It's 4 pentacles here. It's 8 pentacles here. Like, and the Knight of Pentacles, it could be a slow burn to get back around to graduation day again for somebody, just on account of this delicate moment in time where somebody's choices make all the difference. Somebody's choice makes all the difference. Six of Swords, damn it, Six of Cups. I love screwing up these suits and numbers, don't I? So this is like, it seems to me that this could already have been a repeat of a lifetime's past, or a season past where someone, this is already a retake or a redo. Somebody, this might be a karmic cycle that someone has been faced to break for once and for all, just by choosing, again, the source and not the substance, meaning the material, satisfaction. But hell, I said substance, so it could even literally be somebody being quite pressured to break a habit of some codependency or some dependency on a substance, or yeah, because this could be drinking, this could be, pills or something like that. But figuratively speaking, just dependency, well, generally speaking, I'll say just dependency overall, because it could even be in relationships, about someone being like imbalanced in partnerships, and not really valuing harmony and peace and reciprocity in the way that would truly give them passage to a 10 of cups. Why would you, if you're sitting in the 4 of cups energy, why would you be privileged to receive a 10 of cups experience? You don't even know what to do with the 4. And it comes from clearing up the cycles of the 6, kind of seeing the pattern, recognizing the pitfalls, and literally changing your habits to do something different. This is saying that somebody is just about this close to falling short in a recycling for yet another lifetime, or at least another season. That they were supposed to been cleaned this up. Like you were supposed to learn all you were supposed to learn last semester, so to speak. And we wouldn't even be at this point right now. Or this would be the passageway where you've learned, to really value pure connection in your life. Not fabricated or synthetic or corrupted. There it is, corrupted connections. And particularly in the ways that you create the corruption, because nobody's in this position here on account of how they've been victimized or taken advantage of. That's it's like just as much as you couldn't have your mom take your SATs for you or your final exams, you can't blame the past for your present. So somebody's had all the grace in the world to account for all of that and still, release it or reassign it to a higher value. And they still, may have for a little bit too long worked to recreate the toxicity and trauma of it all, as opposed to transmuting that energy altogether. It's like somebody may have even done a great deal of work healing some aspects, but still not enough that would help them to move forward wholly and completely. And like I said, they may even be kind of stuck in a limbo position, it seems to me. Yeah, it is. Damn, man. I don't know. I'm trying not to speak it, but it feels like a purgatory or limbo position here, even how he's stuck between the Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. And then this is all past life or past regression here. So somebody's still holding on to the past and perhaps holding on to the losses in their life more so than they are celebrating their possibilities. What's on the bottom? 7 of Swords. What they looking at? Yeah. And it's like they're looking at themselves. This is like observing. It's like they're seeing, but they're not seeing. I don't know. But you know why? It's because, again, if you're not accepting this Ace of Cups, that force fuel, that's like transmission for the spirit, like transmission fluid for the spirit, then that means even your perspective is limited. The function of it is limited. Like you see things through an immature eye, or a very jaded perspective, and you see your ambitions are driven, your visions are even, crafted with a sense of entitlement as opposed to accountability and responsibility. This is what I'm getting here. It's like some lack of maturity here. Like I said, it's the King of Swords, because at this point, like I said, he should know the material, because you've been here too many times. You've taken this class way too many times not to know it top to bottom and front to back. But it's either somebody still not paying attention, or they cheating their way through the course each and every time. Like they're present, but they're not really doing the work. And so at the core of it all, they're still on a page, best case scenario, with the, last ditch effort of work that somebody tried to put in, a Knight of Swords, but it's still not at the king status, and somebody's had enough education at this point that they should be fully functioning at a king's level. And that's probably why the divine is not, there's really no grace for it anymore. It's like, you got everything. You had the extra credit, you had the tutoring, you had, study partners. You took it before, so you virtually already know what to expect. Like, how much more grace do you need to make the grade? It's like, I don't know. And somebody still it's like multiple choice, and somebody was still picking all the wrong answers. Wow. Another 10, but not the 10 you really want to see. It's just, this is more pressure and more stress. And what it really could be is, like I'm saying, it's like the pressure and the stress. You know how it is, like, well, you may not have been that type of student, but like when you wait to the last minute to do a paper or an assignment that you had weeks to do. I was famous for stuff like that because I had to overcome procrastination in my life. I really did. But you had weeks, maybe even knew that this assignment was on the syllabus from the very beginning of the course, right? Like you knew what the expectations were. But you waited till, God forbid, the night before, but let's just generously say the week before. It could be a 10-page paper, and now you have a week left to pull it together. That's that type of pressure here, where somebody had all the time in the world to make an unpressured choice, to really take their time, think about it, weigh all the options, observe, the landscape, read the signs and signals, readjust, check their answers. Hell, it might even been a goddamn open book test. Nah, it can't be that bad, but maybe, I don't know. Either way, it's like somebody just really, it's like they exploited the system, or they just took for granted they didn't take it seriously. That's what it is. They took time for granted, first and foremost, and they also didn't take the outline of the course, let's say, or maybe even the instructor, all figuratively speaking, they didn't take it seriously. It's like, instead of studying or doing their assignment, they rather be, out partying, or which definitely could be the Four of Cups, because the Three of Cups could be like you literally out celebrating and stuff. You want to be out having a good time and drinking and just living it up. You know what I mean? Like like you ain't like. I mean, not for nothing. I'll be honest with you. I've said it before, but I'll say it here so we're clear. I was an excellent student all through high school, up and through high school. College, I was far more social than I was studious, and I'm brilliant, let's just say. So I could have and should have done better academically than I did, but I didn't take my academics as seriously as I took my social life. And I have no qualms about it at this point. It just is what it is, because I know that I was having a different grooming experience in college than it necessarily was academic, because hell, I don't even hardly use the degree anymore anyway that I paid for. you know. But still, like, the facts are the facts, and I'm saying this because I can relate to when you got a big test coming up, but everybody's going out, or everybody's hanging out, or everybody's going to the party at the campus across the way, or whatever. Like, I was far more fixated on having a good time, and being social, and even just being active on campus and hella clubs and organizations, but class, I'll think about that. Some classes anyway. Lord, don't let it be a class where attendance is not a part of my grade. You mean I have a choice to show up? Say no more. Which was my downfall, because I've always been really successful on account of, as I've said before, taking really good notes, paying great attention to the material, and really, gleaning more from the class itself that translated into good testing and good papers and stuff than even cultivating really good study habits, because I got better in high school as I had to, but I never cultivated the best college study habits, So now, to return to school at this point, I'm already knowing it's all business, no games, especially when you're paying for a higher level degree. It's not, I'm much more mature now, all that to say. Like, I've learned my lessons, especially given that in hindsight, I would have liked to have a better GPA to show for my time and energy at such a great school as Drexel. I graduated on time, and I wasn't on academic probation or anything like that, but I could have done better, just sheerly off of my intelligence alone. If I would have been more disciplined and focused on what I was actually supposed to be there for, theoretically, then my grades would have shown that. But this, again, to the point, it's like somebody lost sight of what they were there for, or here for. They lost sight of their assignment. They lost sight of their purpose. There it is. And what they allowed to drive them ultimately became a distraction, and to some degree became debilitating, maybe too debilitating to recover from in some cases. So here we are now at the 10 of Wands. It's the end, it's the close of a cycle. But how is this new one beginning? Because we already know that with the world showing up in the very beginning. We know that something's closing out. We know that even at this 10-10 of a day, this 10 of a day, holistically, that something is coming to an end. But how is someone set up to begin again is the mystery. I don't know. Oh, well, we got the star card. We got the star card, so that's a good sign. Some healing. And then the Six of Pentacles, which is about balance. I don't know. I still don't know, though. Because with the Six of Pentacles, is this him or is this him? You know, is this the one, the benefactor, or the one in need? You know, it's like the star card definitely implies that there could be something hopeful here, some light at the end of the tunnel, something to look forward to. Maybe it's someone's journey that gets to be like a testimony to others of how they can overcome. But I still feel some type of way about ending with the 10 of Wands, though. I feel like, all right, best case scenario, someone beat the buzzer. Just in the nick of time, they made the proper choice, and their efforts have been accepted by the divine in whatever capacity was necessary to prove someone has passed, you know, or is ready to move forward. And so that brings the closure to the past cycle in order to start this new cycle of, it still feels like healing, though. And this is what I'm saying. Like, it could be that someone definitely beat the buzzer to gain themselves entry into a healing cycle. But I feel like that's still a good case scenario to me. But what still may feel like a worst case scenario to someone else that, again, was trying to cut the line and, you know, have a shortcut is the process of that healing. It's not that someone, you know, they beat the buzzer and so therefore they're automatically in the winner circle or the limelight in the way that they would idealize it to be. It's like you beat the buzzer so you're not stuck in purgatory. You're not stuck in despair. You're not stuck maybe even, you know, maybe kicked out of the class or out of school altogether. You know, maybe you're good. You cleaned up your act just enough to be admitted into this new season of healing. But I feel the sense that in the Six of Pentacles, with the way that person may be then submitted into that process, is what may to them, comparative to what they would idealize, feel like, I don't know if I quite won. You know what I mean? Like, they comparatively, until someone fully surrenders themselves, perhaps, into whatever a healing season looks like for them specifically, to them it might not look like or even feel like a so-called winning season, because they're used to counting their wins or measuring their wins by something quite different. But in the grand scheme of things and for the greatest good of all, they may have won a great deal, you know, that they are not even fully accepting and grateful for at the moment that it's passed down or passed out. You know what I mean? It might still kind of feel like a loss, but in fact, it's the best win case scenario for someone that just barely made it. You know, like, it's like I said, my GPA wasn't all that great, but I graduated on time and I fulfilled all of my course requirements. You know what I mean? I didn't have to do an extra semester or extra class or nothing like that. When it was time for me to walk across that stage, I did so like everybody else. You know, he even looks like he has on a cap and gown in the Six of Pentacles right here. So I feel like, you know, I guess it doesn't really matter for me to know what's what in this particular case, but the fact that I do get to transmit that it is very hopeful. It is, you know, a projection of something positive here. I feel like it comes down to, again, someone's posture of acceptance with what they receive, you know, like, or what they're being offered, I should say. The grace, here it is, that's being extended. Someone could definitely, you know, revere this experience in less of a light than what I see it as at its best, and feel like, you know, like this is bullshit, and be so resistant to the present and the projection of the future, because all they really can hold on to is the immediate gratifications, or even the ideals of satisfaction and security and stability that they were used to. And in that regard, that can be almost like smacking that cup out of the divine's hand, like, oh, you still don't want this? Okay, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna let you do you. I'll let you figure this thing out on your own. Like, that's the last thing you really want, especially not in this cosmic climate. You want to have as much divine support as you possibly can have, you know? So you wouldn't want to smack the hand that's trying to feed you in this case. But again, if somebody can successfully let bygones be bygones, close out the past, and really look forward to the future with grace, with gratitude, with as much optimism at least as they can muster up in a moment, you know, then they would see the opportunity here to advance their success in a different way than what they've done before, but certainly in a more sustainable way, you know, and definitely in a more secure way that's not only going to be good for them, because all they were serving was themselves, their self up here. But now with the Six of Pentacles, like I said, it's something that gets to be shared outside of you, whether it's resources, whether it's your testimony, whether it's your experience, your expertise, you know, all there's you end up having so much value to offer creation than you did when you were just kind of hoarding it all for yourself, you know, particularly for some superficial or material measure of esteem, you know. So I would venture to say that this could be a win for someone in a very powerful way, but it's just all a matter of how they see it. But one thing's for sure is that the past is closing, I would say, as of today, by end of day. The past will be but a distant memory, and all that will be left is to look forward to what's next from where you presently stand. So I don't know, I guess good luck to whomever it applies. You definitely have the power to choose wisely, but I was certainly out, like I was saying about that King of Swords, I retracted saying discernment, because this is the essence that's missing. I don't know if I said that before. So to apply discernment to your decision making, you know, to really be tapped in and tuned in to your sensibility about your surroundings and about what opportunities are before you, what really truly makes you feel good to connect yourself to or with, That's clear. You know when you're around people that you don't feel good about, when you're doing things that you don't feel proud about or you wouldn't want other people to know, when you're gaining achievements or profit by means that are not honorable, when you are sacrificing your integrity for some sense, of security or stability, not even a real guarantee, but just a gratification in the meantime. These are all the things that you know how you feel when you are in that frequency. And when you ignore it is when you put yourself in harm's way and you put yourself again at a greater distance from the sanctity of the spirit. Like I said, it's always constant, but unless you are, there's not a lot that can really be done co-creatively. The spirit ain't never going to force you to do nothing. Not really. You may incur some unfavorable or unsavory results from your own choices, but you still always have a choice. So if anything, we should all be empowered by that truth and, exercise it to our fullest authority with all accountability. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.